And welcome to another show of Don't Get This Twisted. I am Rob, along with my co-host, as always, Tina. How you doing, Tina?
I'm doing really well. I'm nursing a hangover, but I got this. Like, we're good.
Ah, very good, very good.
From 2 days
Nothing
ago.
wrong with that. That's all right. Well, mother, you did, obviously, both me and you didn't have to do anything yesterday for Mother's Day.
No. As a matter of fact, I didn't do shit but basket weave with my cousins.
Yeah.
We went and got burgers and showered. Then we sat around the table and did some baskets.
It was a rough one for me yesterday. I think I had my first,
You're doing the first of everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And then my mom's birthday is on the 24th. So I get the double whammy in 1 month. But
so what are you going through?
I mean, just that thought of like, oh yeah, like I don't have mom around anymore and didn't have to call her. And then the other weird thing is like, I've bought flowers for a friend of mine. Mm-hmm. So I get all these emails, but this one was all mothers driven. So I was like, oh yeah, great. Gotta love that. But yeah. I'm all right. It was just I think it was more just a little more reality hit. Like, oh, it's kind of I think it was more that than anything. I wasn't like down or depressed because I think I've already gone through that major thing. It was more just like, oh yeah, like
a hole in your life.
Yeah, like this sucks. Mm-hmm. But it was cool because I think I looked back on like all the things I read online, like people that were just, celebrating still. And that's good. Like you still have your mom. Awesome. Like my friend down the street, I said, hey, make sure when you see your mom, you give her a hug. Like,
yes,
because she doesn't have her father.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I still have dad. So, it's those things where you're just going to have to, you're just kind of looking back on, oh yeah, but
you have a different perspective for sure.
Yeah. Well, and one that I didn't have for a long time because
right.
a lot of friends around me had already lost their parents. Yeah. So just one of those
But you're
things.
not supposed to know until you know.
Thank goodness.
What I mean? It's not. I have a friend. She always feels bad. She's like, I wish I knew what you guys were going through. And I always say, don't.
No,
you don't want to wish that. Like, you don't want to have those thoughts. Mm-hmm. You don't want to go through that. You'll go through it when you have to, and we'll be there to support you because we will already have done it. But
yeah,
you gotta be you gotta be grateful with what is.
Mm-hmm. It's like divorce.
Yeah,
like when people go, well, I wish I kind of knew what you were going through. No, you don't. That shit is awful.
It is. Yeah.
You don't want to go through that shit.
It is. But then yesterday, I didn't make a phone call. I didn't do anything for anyone else. I sat around and did what I wanted. So in that respect, I was let off the hook. So yeah. But my mom's also been gone. I think it's gonna be like 13 years now.
Yeah. So. It's funny because we're going to talk about shower thoughts and like crazy things that I think all of us do in the shower. But before, make sure you check out our socials, all that kind of stuff, and subscribe to the show on all the major platforms. We're gonna cut it off easy today. But like shower thoughts that are kind of funny. But we're talking about like dealing with things. And my friend down the street over here, I use an analogy using Shawshank Redemption as an analogy. When he kind of has to crawl through the pipe, and she has never seen it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, how have you not seen Shawshank Redemption? So hopefully if she listens to the show this coming week, sit down and watch Shawshank Redemption. You'll get the analogy of going through the pipe and how that's kind of a metaphor for life. I think sometimes we gotta crawl through a bunch of shit to get it clean on the other end.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it's your perception of what shit is that makes it easier or hard for sure.
Exactly. Or sometimes it just is shit and not for real shit, but something that's just super hard that you have to deal with. And we all got to deal with it, whether it's death of a family member or divorce or a major breakup, whatever it is. We all go through these things that are shitty. So, it happens. It could be something, it could be something simple, like a car accident where no one gets hurt or nothing happens, but it's still shitty to have to go through the insurance process and getting your car fixed or whatever. So it's relative, I think. Your shitty life is relative to whatever you think shitty is.
That's true. It's all perception.
So yeah, for sure. So shower thoughts. It's kind of funny because I use that term quite often because I think that we all go through these little crazy benders of like you're in the shower and either something you hear on the way in, something you read, a meme or whatever, put your phone down, jump in the shower. Cause I can't see because I wear glasses. So regardless, once I take my glasses off, I'm totally screwed. Mm-hmm. Even if my phone gets a text message, I got to jump out, put my glasses on. So my shower thoughts are kind of funny because I told you I had a shower thought because I write poetry. So I had a shower thought one morning, kind of had this idea of what I wanted to write. So I kept kind of telling myself in the corner, like, okay, do this, do that. I want to write this. And I'm like trying to wash myself off and get out of the shower. Right. So I jump out, I throw a towel around me and I write this poem, and it's quite long. It's probably 15 or 16 lines long. Like it's a paragraph, but I did it all and I finished it and then went back to doing my routine. I ended up sending that to somebody that same morning, just as a, hey, and it was a guy at my work, Tom. And I sent it to this guy and he was like, dude, that's really cool, man. Where'd you get that from? And I was like, oh, I wrote it this morning. And he was like, yeah, like, where'd you get it? And I go, no, dude, I really wrote it this morning. So when I went in to work, I pulled it up on my notes, my Apple notes. And I was like, see, I wrote it. And he was like, holy shit. Like you really did. I was like, oh yeah. So I think we all have those shower thoughts, whether they're good or bad, and I mean shower thoughts where it can be literally anything. Sometimes you just need to go in the shower and I hate to say scream, but even though you're not screaming, you're screaming.
I did a lot of crying in the shower the last couple of years of my marriage. A lot. You said that. I was like, I don't have thoughts like that in the shower. Oh, yes, I do. Mm-hmm. A lot of them. But I guess I just kind of put them out of my mind.
I've done a little crying in the shower, up and down throughout the last couple of years as well, where you're just, whatever it is, like I said, sometimes it can just be a stressful thing, like something that's just so, it beats you up in the morning. And sometimes you just gotta, and I'm very, female, like when it comes to showering, I like to shower in the blistering, like where it just, blisters your skin up while you're in the shower. At least a lot of the females I know, they take the like hottest showers. And sometimes I'll just sit in there and just be like, okay, or whatever it is I'm trying to get going for the day. Mm-hmm. Like to me, sometimes it's just it's a motivational place. Mm-hmm. Like I have to sit in there and go, okay, bro, like we're going to be all right today. Like I know yesterday was complete dog shit. Let's just gear up, get going. When you get out of here, everything's going to be okay. Cause I have 2 different shifts. So for me, I either work 7 to 4 or 8 to 5, but I get up early in the morning regardless. So I get up at like 4 something in the morning every day. So when I work the 7 o'clock shift, my shower thoughts are pretty quick because I got to bust ass and get going. Like I can't sit around. Right. But on the 8 to 5 days, like I got time to just, I hate to say waste, but I do. Like I'm ready to go by 5:30 and I don't have to leave my house till 7. Nice. So I'll go out. I sit around, I grab my phone. If I need to write something down or if I need to kind of do something while I'm home. And then I have like a good, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes where sometimes even longer. Sometimes I watch my show, whatever my show of the moment is. I'll sit down and watch it. Like I've been watching Ted Lasso, and it's about 45 minutes to an hour show. It all is relative. So I'll watch that in the morning, and I like that because it's kind of gives me that. I get up, do all my shit, and then or whatever I'm doing in the shower, like my shower thought can get me going in the day. So I think for me, like I do a lot of thinking in the shower because it's that one place of solace where I guess you're just kind of alone with your own mind for a second or two, even though you are doing stuff. Mostly if you're have a lot of hair. Like when I had really long hair, man, like showers took a while, like get in, and I had horribly curly hair. So like to condition my hair took a little bit. Now that I have short ass hair, it's like if I really hurry, Tina, I can get out in and out of the shower, and I'm not joking, in under 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Jump in, wash my hair, wash my bits, and jump out. But most of my mornings, I say I probably take about a 15-minute shower, maybe a little longer. But I have a lot of shower thoughts. So it's a good place for me, mostly.
Nice.
But there are things where if I'm going through something or something is on my mind, those are the ones that kind of haunt me in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
But they haunt me anyway. Like years ago, I had very, very bad issues sleeping. And I mean like horribly bad. If I woke up, I would dream about things, and then they would wake me up at like 3 a.m. and I would be up the rest of the day.
Mm.
I just could not go back to sleep.
Wow.
Yeah, it was horrible. So, but once I moved where I live now, like things kind of settled down. I think maybe my head settled a little bit, and I sleep way better where I'm at now. And not that where I lived before was the problem. It was my head that was the problem.
I get that.
But the shower thoughts are very similar to that, where if something's on my mind, I really take it in places where I'm alone.
Yeah. No, that's what I do. I think a lot of people do that. It's better to go through it alone. And where else are you ever alone? Because I can't go anywhere without somebody being around, looking around, calling around.
Right.
But if I'm in the shower, that's like my time. And I kind of like that.
Yeah.
But my biggest thought in the shower was, damn, this feels good. Like I have that thought.
Yeah.
I have that awe moment every time I get in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
Every time.
But I think that is because it's that one place where you relax.
Mm-hmm.
For even though you know it's not for a long period of time, it's that
the feeling of the water just running down your body is so relaxing. It's peaceful, but it's energizing at the same time. I love being clean. There's nothing like it. So I don't know. That's like
that is true.
That's my awe place. Always has been.
It's because you can disappear for a few minutes, and like I said, whatever the thought is, like shower thoughts to me can also be like people who sing in the shower. Mm-hmm. Like these are things that are just going through your mind. Mm-hmm. And it's funny to me what things from the past will jump into your head.
Oh, yeah.
Like a song that you might not have heard in 20 years. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden this little door in your head goes, hey, remember this cool song you liked? And then you're like,
and you could see your face.
Yeah.
The song where you could see the face.
And you're like, and what's great now, like, you know, we talked about before about how shitty cell phones were. Mm-hmm. And yes, they are absolutely horrible most of the time. But it is nice to be able to get out and find a song in a matter of minutes that can take you back.
Absolutely.
To whatever time period that you were having your shower thought about. So I find it kind of interesting that maybe it is that you're relaxed in the shower that brings up these. Or not
distracted, things. Maybe.
That could be as
that's
well.
The only place I'm not distracted.
Yeah. And you're always around people, like always around people. Mm-hmm. So I can see why that is kind of your place of refuge where you can just kind of be like, okay, for 15 or 20 minutes, just leave me the hell alone.
Mm-hmm. You can't have a damn dirty thought if you're not by yourself. Like, I could go a long time and I'm like, wait a minute, everybody should have dirty thoughts. I'm a believer in those, you know, and I'm like, fuck, I can't even have a damn dirty thought. I can't get away from people. So
yeah. I mean, that is a good point. See, I have dirty thoughts all the time. So it's just a matter of who I'm texting at the time.
Dirty.
Yeah, I could get in trouble because there's one that can get me in a lot of trouble. A lot. I text this person one time when I was at work and they were at a funeral.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was an interesting afternoon, needless to say. So yeah, you're right. Dirty thoughts, I think shower thoughts and dirty thoughts. Maybe that's why young men in the morning take such long showers.
Maybe. You're right.
Maybe.
Yeah, sure. Maybe. That's exactly why they're in there.
Yeah. Well,
but good for them that they want to do that.
Yeah. Well, because in the old days, there was no other place to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
but you didn't have a private phone conversation either.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, you could, in my house I did because my dad he wouldn't pick up the phone. He'd barely talk to human beings except for people he was related to. So like I was always on the phone and I could be by myself, but I think it was more, the shower thing was more just, it was the one place you couldn't get walked in on. Mm-hmm. So, and I think, and I guess shower thoughts could be shower sex. I mean, if we're really going to go down that road,
that's a stretch, though, don't you think? I mean, you could think about sex, but that's a whole different story, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm just stretching it out a bit.
But stretch out whatever you got to, Rob.
Yeah. I mean, and man, and in the shower, it's okay. And if you are with somebody, boy, you're stretching or moving or putting your leg up here or there. So that is kind of true. That's
when I'm in the shower. That's where I think of all the things I have to do that day. Like what my schedule is, who I need to call, what's going on with my, certain people in my life. If they're having a tough time, if I need to reach out or, there's a family reunion that needs to be planned. That's where I do all my thoughts.
Right.
That takes up probably most of the shower, but I do take that awe moment where I'm just like, yes.
Well, and I think in your space, in your job, like you could probably have a day where you have 2 clients and then you can have one where you have 10. Mm-hmm. So like there is a lot to kind of think about. In my case, like even if I'm thinking of work, it's make sure I'm on time because my work is always kind of a roller coaster. Mm-hmm. It's who calls in to get what they want. In your case, you have these certain things. So like I can see where shower time might be that like you're doing your thing and you're going, okay, I got to do this. I got to make sure I call this person. And then there's the rock that gets thrown at you like, oh shit, I forgot to do this. Mm-hmm. See, I hate that shower thought. I hate oh man, I was supposed to.
I remember when my grandfather and my grandmother were alive and they were sick and my mom was also sick. And I was always running from one doctor to the next and trying to keep this situation separate from that situation because they were different types of unhealthy and different things going on. And raising a kid and being a softball coach and trying to do my business. Oh, and I had a husband at the time. Like there was still food to make and mail to drop off and dry cleaning to pick up. Like I remember shower thoughts when I was at the peak of being married were so they were chaotic. It was just like, this is what you have to do. Make a plan. Let's stick to it. And trying, like you said, you make a list or you get out and you write stuff down. Like I just kept it in my head because there was no freaking way I was getting out of that warm water. Like this is my time, Yeah.
This is too nice.
Yeah. This is my safe place. I'm not leaving here. Mm-hmm. But then being a mom, you either get an animal knocking at the door or you get a kid coming in because they need lunch money or, whatever it is. So,
oh yeah.
I don't know. Like for me, I really appreciate shower time now because I'm only taking care of me, and I get to just look at what I'm dealing with and what I'm doing, which I've never really had that in my life because like I was always taking care of everybody else. But I've appreciated that time that I've got to myself. But now my dad's starting to have health issues. And so I'm going to be going with him to all of his appointments. So it's like the cycle continues. But I was grateful to get the break where I could be in the shower just going, everything's okay. I could relax.
Right.
Let the water run down my head some more, you know?
See, that's what I was a bath person for that.
Oh, were you?
But now I don't have a bathtub. So now it has to be that. But before, it was more tub thoughts. Like I would run the hottest bath I could feasibly get into and just whoosh, and just sit there and literally disappear. Like put on music and just close my eyes and think of whatever came to my head. And I think that now, obviously, where I don't have a tub, I do the same in the shower in the morning. But I think I kind of lose myself in the shower. I try not to think of the bad. I think I kind of like you where it's like, okay, what am I doing today? Where am I at? You know, what can be good or what can be better? That's kind of what I'm trying to do now, trying to be a little more positive in the morning.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think in general, I think we all need to try to be a little more positive.
I'd agree.
Even though the world is what it is and whatever that means to you, I think that there's a lot to that. You know, it's not that it's on fire, but it's definitely not the greatest.
But yet it's not that bad either. You know, it's like, I'm pretty freaking lucky right now. Yeah.
There's always good and bad. My thing is to try to not let the bad bury you.
Right.
And it's hard. It's hard. It is. You know, a nice hot shower will kind of make that go away. And I've been trying to really kind of, my morning shower, I try to take 2 showers now. I try to take the morning shower as my quickie, kind of get in, get out, do my thing. And my night shower is the one that I try to relax and enjoy a little bit more because I think it's, I've been trying to gear down earlier to where I'm not trying to do a lot on the phone. If I watch whatever, you know, quote unquote TV show that I'm watching at the time, I try to just settle down and be done for that last half an hour. And it's been better for me because, again, lack of sleep is the death of you. So if you can take a hot shower and, you know, get those muscles kind of just relaxed and it's great. I've been doing way better with that format in my life. So, and it's helped with my release of writing. So I might come out of the shower a lot more now with ideas than I probably did before. Okay. Which is really cool because like I said, I'm going to write another poem book. And I think it's kind of a roller coaster one this time. Obviously, a lot of it's kind of lovey-dovey shit, but that's just because that's how I am as a writer. But some of it's, you know, personal and what's kind of going on in life in general. So those shower thoughts have been really good to me lately. I have probably, for me, it's hard to say. Most of the things that I've written have been about 200 pages, give or take. I'm probably already about 17 or 18 poems in, which is really good because I haven't really been dedicating myself to it as much as I thought I was going to do it. I think they just kind of roll with me. So my shower thoughts have been very good to me. Good. Do you think most people have these kind of 20-minute leisure times in the morning?
No.
Do you think you don't think it's as common as we're talking?
No, I don't think that kind of time is common at all anymore. Like we kind of run our schedules to the limit. So I don't know if anybody really like has that type of time that they could allocate it to just taking a shower, just, being in the bathroom.
Which is too bad.
It totally is. It should be mandatory.
Yeah, because I think we're losing sight of some things. And the other thing about shower thoughts or shower time, however we want to put this, I've also learned that like aroma is a very important part of that. I don't know if you've ever heard of Dr. Squatch. Mm-mm. It's a male soap.
Oh yeah, I have.
You'll see the commercials. It's handmade. It's not cheap. It's like $7 a bar. It is the greatest soap ever. It has it's pretty strong aroma. It has a little gritty in it, so it exfoliates you. Mm-hmm. But I found myself to where the more aroma in your shower time is definitely a great booster. Like it's something that, and I hate to say punches you in the face, but it is like that first breath of aroma and then maybe that hot steam that hits you. Like to me, it is kind of eye opening. It reminds me of like that old Irish Spring commercial. Like it was like the guy would smell the bar and his eyes would open up really wide.
Right.
But I think there is something to that. That will drive these shower thoughts because aroma puts you in a good mood.
And that's the quickest way to a memory is by smelling it. Like it really is. I go into the grocery store around Halloween and I smell the cinnamon brooms. My mom always had a cinnamon broom in our house. And so every time I go in, I'm like, oh, it's mom's time of year,
Yeah. And that's good. And I think that there is something to that. I got this stupid, I shouldn't say that. I was at the supermarket the other day and I needed to buy shampoo. And I'm pretty generic. I don't care. As long as it cleans my hair and conditions a little bit and does its job. So I'm walking through and I see it and it says like green apple or some kind of apple. I was like, whatever. I'll just grab it. What the hell? And I get it home and I'm like getting in the shower this morning. I'm like, oh man, that is super awesome. It really smells like green apples. Mm-hmm. So it was one of those things where like, that was the first thing this morning that I got into my, senses that hit me really hard. It's just, whoa, yeah. And again, I think I walked out this morning and either I got a title for a poem or the first couple of lines. So my shower thoughts are important to me pretty much daily.
Mm-hmm. What's funny is you talk about smells and showers. When I was a kid growing up, one of my favorite cousins, Mona, she would be like, I'm going to take a shower and then you're going to take a shower and we're going to get ready to go. That's what she always set it up like that. And the smell when she got out of the shower, I don't know what she used on her body or on her hair or whatever, but that smell to this day stays in my head. And like if I go to where she's living and I go there, I'm like, oh my gosh, it still smells like her. It's I don't know why I thought of that, but it's a smell that's kind of stuck. And when every time I smell it, I think of her. And she was just like the coolest cousin when we were growing up. So I don't know, whenever I catch that smell, I think of her, but it's a shower smell of all things. Sure. I don't know. She had really long hair and it always smelled really good. It must have been her shampoo.
For me, it's if we're going to go down to like that shower smell or that thing that really kind of rocks you was Johnson & Johnson's baby shampoo. Mm-hmm. And like, because I think I remember, obviously you remember it as a child, but I think the first time you have a baby or you have a child and you're in the tub or you're in the shower and you use Johnson & Johnson, it's like, holy crap. All these things come like flooding back to your head. Mm-hmm. It's like a shower thought overload where you're just like, oh yeah. Like it totally brought me back to, I used to live in Selmar growing up. And it's funny. I don't have a lot of memories before 8 years old. It's the weirdest thing. And my parents got divorced at 8, so maybe it's a coping mechanism. Mm-hmm. But I really don't have many thoughts before that. But things like that bring me back to like being in this house getting wrapped up in a towel by my mom, getting out of the tub or getting out of one of my first showers where like, you know, my parents were on the outside of the shower, like, everything okay in there? Everything okay in there? Because I was like little, you know, but I remember, you know, obviously your first couple of, you know, years of showering alone were Johnson & Johnson because you didn't want to get no shit in your eyeballs and burn them out. So I think those are the things that are my things are my big shower thoughts. Mostly when I first started bathing my kid, where it was like a punch in the face of like memories. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And then I remember getting in afterwards, like to shower myself. And of course, all the resonance of that baby shampoo would come back up right back into the shower again. And, you know, shower thoughts again.
Yeah. Or what about when you have the music going? Because I always get ready with the music blaring. I need that to get pumped up for my day. And,
that's my boy.
You hear a song and it reminds you of somebody. And so then they're on your mind and you remember like stupid things you did or something they said or, you know, just I don't know. There's so many times I've done that where the song will remind me of somebody and then the shower is thinking or reliving like pieces of my life that went on with that particular person.
Oh, that happens to me
a lot.
All the time.
Right? That's why I said, can you see her face? Because when I, my next door neighbor friend, when we went to Target one day, we go through every aisle because I was just trying to get her out of the house. She was losing her mind. And we're going down every aisle. Well, we went down the fragrance aisle, and I'm going to date myself. But back in the day, it used to be Jacquard Noir that all the guys wore, right? It was like the cool thing to wear. And
so you know, I have Jacquard in there because a friend of mine down the street, that's her favorite thing. And she got me some. And I wear it all the time.
Yep.
To this day.
I got to tell you, when I smell it, it makes my knees weak because it does take me back to two people in particular that always wore that I was so in love with back in the day. And so I sprayed it. I was like, oh, Jacquard. So I sprayed it. And my friend walked through it and she goes, oh, Tina, oh my God. I'm like, do you see his face? And she's like, I do see his face. And we were laughing and joking around. Then we look over and there's two guys that are in the aisle with us, just laughing at everything we're saying. And I embarrassed her completely, but it was crazy how that smell took us back to that time with that music. And we could go, I could remember what I was wearing. I could remember like what I said. I could remember how it went. It's amazing from one squirt of one like cologne.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, music, I think music's my downfall. Mm-hmm. So if I'm in the shower and listening to music, and I don't do it very often because, of course, I shower at like the ass crack of dawn. Mm-hmm. So it would have to be like a weekend. But yeah, like music to me is the killer because, yeah, I do remember a certain thing that happened, mostly like I was with somebody in the shower and it was the first time that I remember them like not having makeup on or, you know, because we were getting ready to go somewhere. And it was one of those things where she was kind of like real timid. And I was like, no, it's okay. Like be you, like hair wet. And like just the first time that you realize that like, sure, they're super pretty anyway, but then you see them who they really are, and they're prettier. You know what I mean? Like, because we all love women with makeup, because makeup it's that one thing. But to see someone raw, and then I think it's you fall for that person, and then the beauty is just the positive. That's because the cake is great. You put a little frosting on it, sure, it's better. But I like cake anyway.
Right. I get it.
So it's one of those things where you're right. Like, and I'm a song person. I listen to music a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can be taken back to certain instances. And yeah, it was weird. Like, I was driving the other day in a part of town that I hadn't been in quite a while. And I drove past a place that I had dinner with someone and hung out, and then a hotel that we stayed at that I hadn't really driven by in years. I mean, years. And it was like a punch in the dick. I was just like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like, it was really bizarre. So I can see how that music in the shower can spark such a memory that it's like a flood. And mostly if it's about that one person that just was everything to you at one point in your life, it's really easy to be taken to that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's also, a lot of my shower thoughts are almost like prayers. Like, I think about what's going on with my people, my friends, my family, my brother, the kids, like my dad. I think about in the morning, like there's like a, I don't know, maybe a meditative state or where I'm praying. It just depends on the day. I do it in the shower because, again, that's my time where my brain floats and does what it needs to do uninterrupted. And so, I don't get out of the phone or get out to answer the phone or to do the text messages. Like, that is the only freaking time I have to myself, like the only time. So that's also my time to like say my prayers or to like kind of put some thought out for, certain people that are going through stuff. That's the time that I take to have all those thoughts too.
I would probably tell you it's a very common place to talk to God.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
For sure.
Because it's that one time where you can, whatever you're, well, and whatever you like, you're in this relaxed state.
Well, the water, you're constantly, you could feel your whole body at the same time because the water is going down your body. So it makes you very aware of your own self, which starts that whole process for me. Sure.
Well, and then I think the sound, that very just, it's a relaxing, like running water is a very relaxing sound. Whether it's a shower or a river or the ocean. So, and I think that's been embedded in a sense, the dawn of man, right? Because we've lived by water. So I think a lot of that where you're doing your thing and you're listening and doing this and doing that. And that is probably where it's a very much more common place to, like you said, say a prayer or start going, hey, look, can you help me out a little bit? Like, I'm going through this time, or my friend is going through this time. Can you give them a little, everything's going to be okay. So I can totally understand that. And I think that, again, it's a place of solace where you are alone, and I hate to say there's no judgment because it's a shower, but there isn't. Because you're just doing your thing, and I think that those are important times, and to me, I think they're a little more common for people who have time. Like, if you do have time, like, that's why baths are such a relaxing thing. Because I think people, if you have the time to take one, that's why people put special shit in the water and have candles and kind of go into a meditative state.
Drink a box of wine.
drink a box of wine. I mean, shit, I used to know people who, I mean, they had issues, but would drink beers in the shower in the morning.
My brother says that the shower beer is the most indulgent thing. He just, that's like his favorite thing.
See, that's wild. I mean, I've never.
So I did it with marijuana once. I was like, well, I'm not really a drinker, but I'll smoke a joint. Right. So I got in the shower and I had my ex bring me a joint, and he was talking to me in the bathroom anyway while I was taking the shower. And we smoked a joint together, and I called my brother. I'm like, you're right. Like that was a good place because it totally helped me relax.
Right. It was amazing. And you're like hotboxing yourself.
Well, the fan was on, but yeah, kind of. I was like in a little bubble.
Yeah, because that steam is bringing everything right back up. I'm sure it's, and I'm sure that's probably the whole thing with if you had an ice cold beer in a super hot shower, it's probably that yin and yang of like you're enjoying the heat and the water on you, and then you're sugging one back there just like to cool you right back down. So I'm sure there's something to that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to ask my brother again what he actually said, but he would say sometimes it might be shower beer time.
Yeah. I mean, I know I've sat in a tub, listening to music with a Coke, like an ice cold, and so I get it. Like when you're just sweating up a storm in the tub and you're drinking to, just do your thing. So I can see the relaxing behind a shower beer. Unfortunately, my friend was doing it because he had to cope, and he was doing it to get along with the day. So, but yeah, I can get that. Those are, again, just as much a shower thought than
very much so.
Just like us getting in. So, I would love to know like how many people use that as a form of therapy, because I bet you it's a little more used than we think. And again, not like real therapy, but definitely a therapeutic process when you're in the morning and you're doing your thing, and whatever you need to get out in the morning, you get out. And I think that it's an important time for both morning and evening. Like I said, I'm becoming way more of an evening shower taker. I love to get out of the shower just kind of after a shit long day of being, whatever it is. And then just, it totally relaxes every muscle in me to hit the sack. So, and then again, if I get a couple of good thoughts out of it and I get an idea or decide, sometimes the shower is a good place to make a decision in life. whether you think it's a good idea or not, sometimes the best ideas for me or problems that I've solved have been inside the four walls of a shower. And I know that sounds crazy, but I've got out of the shower and go, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. And it's crazy that how many times I've probably done that in my life, but it's been more than a handful. And I've made life-changing decisions, life-changing, to where I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm moving here. I'm going this. I'm going to do this. And just like, wow. So I think it's an important thing. And I think more people than we think are doing it. I think I'm going to ask more after the show comes out. I'm going to say, hey, listen to this pod, and then tell me your shower story or your shower thought. But I'd like to see if there's more people like me than I think. Because you're probably right. It's probably a very small percentage. But even if it's 10% of the people that are having these, it's not just jump in, wash your shit and get out. So I don't know. I think it'll be fun, on this Wednesday when it comes out. And I'm going to ask a bunch of friends to go, hey, I want you to listen to this 45 minutes of show and then tell me what your shower thought is. Because I have so many of them, Tina. I couldn't even, like I said,
God.
I've made.
How do you not? When you said shower thoughts, I'm like, where do I start?
Exactly. Because there's so many, because it's just a place where you can, like I said, just be you, cry if you have to, scream if you have to. And sometimes you got to do that. If you're home alone, I've been in a shower where I had to belt it out to where I was just like, fuck. And sometimes then you get out and you're like, whew, all right, let's go get a burger.
I wish it was that easy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's ever that easy. I mean, but sometimes it's easy in the moment where you're trying not to think about something again. Because my mind, it is in overdrive 9 times out of 10. And when I can have a thought that's not in that direction, it's a good one. Yeah. So, and a matter of fact, I'm going to be hopping in there not too long from
Me too.
This recording.
As a matter of fact, as soon as I get off this recording, it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think so.
And it looks like it's about time.
Yeah, that is. Oh, look at you. That's a segue. That was very well done.
And you're welcome.
and you're getting way better at this podcasting thing.
Am I?
Segue. You just did a segue, Tina.
I know. What the hell?
It only took 95 episodes to start doing segues. So
lo and behold, I finally got it.
That's it. Knock that one out.
I'm a slow learner, but I got
That's there. Right. So your shower thought for today should be how I'm going to do segues from now on. Well played. Well played.
See what I could do.
All right, guys. Make sure to check out our social medias on the Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And check out this show on Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all those cool places that they have podcasts. We're there. And follow, subscribe, whatever it is. Share this thing. Get that link and send it to every single one of your relatives so they can hear me say the F word.
A lot of
every
times,
week.
Yeah.
A lot of time. And pretty much every week.
Yes, it's consistent.
And then you can hear Tina giggle like that. And so, any last thoughts?
Just thank you for listening. We're almost at 100 episodes.
Oh, we're almost there.
We're almost there.
Awesome.
And it's so crazy. We threw a big party for my brother this weekend, and I didn't realize how many people that were at the party listen to the podcast now. And I guess I got some talking to do to a few of them because I haven't seen them in a while. And
they're like, wait a second. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, there's some talking that's going to be going on. So
cool.
Anyway.
Yep, 100 is coming. And it's not a special day this year, which is going to be even better.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is an opinion show, so don't get it twisted. Make sure you check in every Wednesday because we're doing shows until the end of time. Tina just doesn't know it yet.
Great.
All right. You guys have a great Wednesday, and we'll see you in a week. Tina, it's always a pleasure. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.